Well, it took the final snap of the final game of the 2025 NFL regular season to give way to the playoffs. And what a January this is shaping up to be. Welcome to Flutie versus Stegall. It's your head-to-head weekly NFL picks and analysis show. I'm your host, Arash Madani. That is Milt Stegall. Here is Doug Flutie and his Buffalo Bills regalia. And let's just get this out of the way. Okay, every show, the fellas make their top 3 picks of the week against the spread. And around Halloween, Milt Stegall was dominating, running away with this thing, cruise control. He was up, 6 to 8 games on our quarterback?
Yep.
Cue the NFL Films theme song. From the depths of despair arose the New Englander, slowly but surely cutting the deficit. Doug Flutie caught up with our Hall of Fame receiver by December. They were neck and neck the final month of the season. And then last week, Stegall 0-3, Flutie 3-0, our regular season picks champion. Doug, this must rank right up there with winning the Heisman Trophy.
You know, I've been waiting for this moment all my life.
Oh my goodness, Doug, come on, please.
No, I got the dartboard out the second half of the season, blindfolded, throwing darts at a board. We came out.
Yeah,
the Rams, the Patriots, and the Bills brought it home for me, and they played consistent football, and I didn't care what the spread was. I stayed with them, and it worked.
Mr. Stegall, over to you. Your concession speech.
But you know what? The second time I played against Doug Flutie in my life, I remember we were up probably like 10 points going into the fourth quarter. So this is what this felt like right here. Doug just coming back and just destroying me, and that final week just ate me up. I'm just so disappointed in who is it? The Ravens, the 49ers. They just let me down that final week. So
I will say this, Milt, about this weekend. I went with picks that I was comfortable with my teams in the matchup, and I felt like they're going to win easily, blah blah blah. And you went with relevant games. Yeah. Like you stayed out there, put your neck out on the relevant games, the ones that are important, the ones people want to hear about. So that was a gutsy move.
That's not making me feel any better, Doug. That's not helping out at all. I'm just letting you know. That's not helping me out at all. So
yeah,
thank you, but no thank you.
Nobody cared that the Jets and the Dolphins lost this weekend. But no.
Right. And who would have thought that Kyle Shanahan and the Niners would put up 3 points? And we'll get into the whole Baltimore situation in just a minute. But if you're new to the show, welcome. Flutie versus Stegall has become one of North America's fastest growing football podcasts. As we mentioned, the guys make their picks. We talk NFL storylines, now playoff storylines. Yep. And Milt and Doug share their own locker room stories. So, guys, the postseason is upon us. We have 6 wildcard games this weekend. But first, let's get right to it. The team that didn't get there, Baltimore. Maybe the best fourth quarter of the entire year was Sunday night. Came down to that 44-yard Tyler Loop field goal, division on the line, home playoff game on the line, and wide right. Now, there cannot be a lonelier feeling in sports than that. Milt, Doug, take us into that visitor's locker room in Pittsburgh on Sunday night. I mean, you walk in there, and you're still hearing the crowd roar, the place shake as your season comes to an end that way.
I'm telling the first thing I do is head to the kicker, give him a hug, and tell him we're all in this together. There were many opportunities to win this game. It shouldn't have come down to this. It's a heart-wrenching thing that the whole season ends up riding on this one play, this one kick that went wide for him. And I feel for the kid because being there, there were so many plays along the way that can make a difference in a game, and that's the one that's obvious at the end. But this is the moment that he's going to be remembered for. Until he gets the game winner in a Super Bowl, he's a rookie. I had Nate Kading in San Diego, who's a phenomenal kicker. Missed overtime kick, 2 overtime, or end of regulation and an overtime kick in a playoff game, and we lose out in San Diego going to playoffs. And it messed with his head his whole career, and it shortened his career.
Yeah. Wow. As Doug mentioned, I mean, that's not what lost them the game. There were so many opportunities during the course of the game where they could have solidified it, but that's what everyone's going to remember. And it was good that Lamar and Henry and Harbaugh, they all consoled him and said, that wasn't it. But let's be honest. Kickers have very few friends on the team. It's the long snapper, it's the punter who usually holds for him, and it's the special teams coach. So, yes, they are consoling, but I guarantee you there are some guys who are giving him the side eye. This is your only job, and you couldn't get it done. That's what they're going to say. So it's unfortunate because, we have social media now, and his wife is getting it. It's an unfortunate situation, but this is what you signed up for. And hopefully he gets another opportunity to redeem himself because, as Doug mentioned, this is what he's going to be remembered for the rest of his life until he gets another opportunity to possibly kick a game-winning field goal in a big game or Super Bowl or another playoff game. So it's unfortunate for him, but he has to live with it.
I hope that moment comes next year for him. I really hope it happens early in his career.
Yeah, so much of it in that position is in your head. The technique, the operation was clean. Now you just wonder what the residual is. Blair Walsh of the Vikings, he missed a chip shot against Seattle in a playoff game wide left. He was never the same after that, just like you were saying about Nate Kading. I tell you what, the guy who felt the most relief when that kick missed, and I'm sure he felt empathy too, was Chris Boswell. Remember, he had just missed the extra point after Pittsburgh had that go-ahead score, which actually became the game-winning touchdown, and that is what our quarterback with the whiteboard is going to draw up for us.
There's something about that stadium, Heinz Field, Pittsburgh, whatever, where they miss more field goals on that grass and that wind than any other field I've ever seen. It's amazing.
Yeah, it really is.
The touchdown, the final touchdown, and this is something, Milt, this is right up your alley.
Yep.
You want to be in a 3-by-1 formation and isolate your best receiver over here at X, okay? Mm-hmm. This is the guy the teams are afraid of. This is your top guy. Don't you dare leave me one-on-one guy. Mm-hmm. The problem is if you bring this safety over to the backside and help out, you're vulnerable to vertical routes on the front side, double ins, all this stuff on the front side. So you play it like he's helping weak side, but he's going to have to push the majority of the time, maybe rotate down, whatever. So the thing that I love is in the huddle. Aaron Rodgers in an interview said, we talked about, what do you want on the backside? What do you want? And the one guy in the huddle says, hey, go get him, burn him.
Go get him.
Whatever it was. And that's the mentality. All this analytics during the week and practice on Wednesday and Thursday and versus this look, and it's like comes down to what do you want to run against this guy one-on-one? He runs up running the double move, a little hitch and go, burns him, a little slip and fall, and they hit the touchdown. The other guy that's in a position to help might be that backer on the inside slants and stuff, but he's got a responsibility to this back. So you got this guy one-on-one. He's your man. Usually you're running slant routes, quick outs, one-on-one, maybe a seam post, and hit him quick. Those types of moves. He did the double move, smokes him. But what I love about it is the fact that it's conversation in a huddle. It's talking. It's on the field. See, I call my own plays a lot in Canada, and those were the conversations I'd have with the guy. Hey, how do you treat you on the backside? Was the inside leverage, outside leverage? What's going on? All that communication goes into it. And then in a moment, all the analytics, all the stuff you've done all week, all the computer printout, screw that. What do you want to run? I love it. No, that's right up your alley.
And what's interesting about that is on that series and on the drive prior, Rodgers kept looking at Calvin Austin saying, Calvin, what do you want? What do you want? And Austin wasn't giving him really a straight answer. And afterwards, it's the receiver, Milt, who in an interview said, man, I just all credit to 8, talking about Rodgers, because he didn't give up on me. And it was one of the O-linemen or a tight end who said, hey, just go cook him. And that's what they did, the hitch and go.
I'm sure Austin was a little overwhelmed because you think about it. Austin was born in 1999. Aaron Rodgers' first year in the NFL was 2005. So this is a player he grew up probably idolizing, looking at as an icon. And then you're in the huddle on the most important play of the season, and Aaron Rodgers asks you, what play do you want to run? And it's not like him and Aaron were connected the entire game. He had 2 catches for 29 yards up to that point. And now this first ballot Hall of Famer, one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history, is asking, what route do you want to run? And he was like, I don't know. What do you want me to run? And Aaron Rodgers, then somebody out in the huddle said, just go cook him. And that's when Aaron said, okay, do a stop and go. And it worked perfectly. So that's a story in itself. Is truly amazing. Calvin Austin, he has a story. It's a great story, and he made a name for himself. So that's a spectacular opportunity for that young man, something he'll never forget for the rest of his life. He'll be part of history, and that's truly something special for him.
He was a walk-on at the University of Memphis.
Yep.
That ends up becoming a mid-round pick, and Calvin Austin said he's giving that touchdown ball to his father, Sergeant Calvin Austin II, who, when Calvin was a young kid, his dad worked the midnight shift on the police force so that dad could coach Calvin in football and hoops and track. What a night for the Steelers. What a play. And what a night for the Austin family. So Pittsburgh is in. It is playoff time. Let's get into this week's picks on Stegall versus Flutie. All right, Milt, after all this Pittsburgh talk, you go with Houston to go on the road to beat them and cover the 4 points. Look, no team is hotter than the Texans going into the postseason, and you expect it to continue.
Yeah, it will continue. Pittsburgh, that was basically their Super Bowl, their playoff game right there, beating the Baltimore Ravens. That's pretty much it for him. Aaron Rodgers, a lot of credit to him. He found the fountain of youth, especially in that second half, in that fourth quarter. He looked like the Aaron Rodgers back in when he was playing with the Green Bay Packers. But that's pretty much it for him. They're playing against the best defense in the NFL. They'll get Metcalf back, but that won't be enough. This defense is spectacular. C.J. Stroud just needs to be average at best, and they'll win this game with no problem. So the Houston Texans, they'll move on after beating the Pittsburgh Steelers, and this will be Aaron Rodgers' last game in the NFL.
Doug, what'd you see Sunday night from Rodgers that was different?
He took control. I don't know. I said it a few weeks ago. There was a smile on his face, which I hadn't seen all season. Athletically, he's not moving the way he used to move. He took off on a run and couldn't get the first down or something, those types of things. But when it came down to the fourth quarter, he looked like the old Aaron Rodgers. And it's a matter of confidence. Arm strength is still there. All the throws, the stuff we saw with Phillip Rivers, where I didn't think he could throw the ball down the field anymore. Rodgers can still sling it. He can still sling it, falling away, off balance. And of course, you get in those situations, he's comfortable. And going in the playoffs, that's what I'm looking for. He's the quarterback that's going to play loose and ready, going to play like it's a preseason game, like it's a midseason game, like it's a fourth quarter of every game. And those guys go out and are consistent and will play from beginning to end.
Yeah, the challenge is going to be real for Pittsburgh this week. Houston has the best defense in the NFL in total yards allowed. All right, let's move on. In New England, they've been waiting 4 years for Sunday night. Drake May's first career playoff game. It's against the Chargers. May was the league leader in completion percentage and QBR and passer rating this season. But his line, I'm just happiest with the 14 wins. And Doug, up there in Foxborough, they rave about Drake May's competitiveness, and you're buying it for the Pats to cover the 4 at home this week.
Yeah, they're 2C. They've had a great year. They've been consistent. They've gotten stronger as the season has gone. I know there's a lot of criticism about their schedule and strength of schedule, but I think they get past the Chargers and do it in a good fashion. They go out and handle them. I think that Vrabel has done a phenomenal job. There's the limiting the penalties, the situational football stuff, and then they can run the ball and the play action, all of it. They've really looked strong, and they've gotten better and better as the season's gone.
Yeah, and I really like this quote from Christian Gonzalez on his quarterback. He said that Drake May's voice in the locker room has, quote, ascended to a level where we listen anytime he speaks. Says a lot for a young kid.
Especially, yes, a young kid.
Yeah. All right. San Francisco, Philly. Guys, I swear I wince every time I look at that Niners injury report, especially on defense. Yeah. Now, Tatum Bethune tearing his groin in the Seattle game. Check this out. It means that every 49ers linebacker that made the 53-man roster at a training camp is now out for the wild card game against Philly. Yep. Meanwhile, Nick Sirianni gives his guys a breather on Sunday.
There it is.
Only one Eagles starter is on IR. And Milt, you're kind of looking at that and saying, all right, I'll take the Eagles -5.
Easy money. Easy money. As you just mentioned, the 49ers were coming off a game. They gave it their all, and they walked away with 3 points. And not only are they beat up mentally, they are destroyed physically. That defense is just sad, hot garbage. They're last in sacks, 20 sacks. Myles Garrett has more sacks than that entire defense by himself. So they can't get it done. I mean, I love McCaffrey. I love Purdy, Kittle. They're great on offense, but that defense doesn't give them a chance. And Philly is built for the playoffs. They got a lot of criticism during the regular season because of the way they won games, but this is what they're built for. It's going to be in Philly, so definitely Philadelphia will come away with the victory.
Please tell them to throw for at least 100 yards, Mel. Just to me.
But Doug, as I
to win the game.
I mentioned last week, they won 2 games during the regular season without completing the ball in the second half.
I know it.
It's not pretty, but there is no such thing as ugly victory.
It hurts my soul.
It's wild because Chicago's defense can't do anything in the first half. Philly's offense can't do anything in the second half, and both teams win. This one may surprise you guys. Jalen Hurts starting his 10th playoff game on Sunday.
Wow.
Tell you what, life comes at you fast.
I'll tell you, the guys that have been there handle the atmosphere better. The guys that have been through it and more veteran, 10 games, 10 playoff games, that's big. He's going to go out and play the way Jalen Hurts plays. He's not going to tighten up. He's not going to do anything different. He's going to throw for 0 yards in the second half and win.
What a formula! It seems to be working. A lot seems to be working with the Rams, although they've been a little shaky of late. But they play fast. Skilled guys are fast. Doug, you've been on the Stafford McVay bandwagon. And now they get a chance to go back to Charlotte, where they had their biggest clunker of the season in November. Biggest spread of the weekend. Rams are a 10-point road favorite.
Yeah.
Flutie, you're rolling on LA still.
Well, I rolled with the big spreads on the last weekend of the season, although it was a little different. But think about the 12-win team has to travel across country to the team that lucked out to win it. I mean, how many wins does Carolina have? 8?
Yep.
It's like, this is crazy. They got to travel across country to play them. And playing at home is a 7-point advantage in my book. There's no doubt. So in my mind, they're 17-point favorite. Like they're that good. I love the way they play offense. I love Stafford. I think he'll, being a veteran guy, been there, done that. He's going to play consistent football of what he's done his whole career. And they'll turn it loose and fire the ball around. So I believe as long as they play well and play their game, they'll light up the scoreboard.
Well, LA is going to want to run away with this thing. 6 of Carolina's 8 wins this season were either fourth quarter comebacks or game-winning drives.
Yep.
I like this one. J.C. Horn, his name for his quarterback, Ice Young, because of what he does in clutch situations. All right, guys. This is where the sparks fly.
This is it, baby.
Buffalo goes into Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. Josh Allen v. Trevor Lawrence. Bills with the most rushing yards a game. Jaguars allow the fewest rushing yards per game.
Yep.
Buffalo opening as a road favorite by a point and a half. And a fitting way for Flutie versus Stegall to go at it because you are on opposite sides of this one. Let's hand it over to the guy wearing the Bills gear and the Zubaz today, Doug Flutie. Why will Buffalo get it done on the road, Doug?
I have no idea. Josh Allen, the bottom line here was I wanted to stay away from this game. I love both these teams. Jaguars are playing the best football of the season that they've been playing. Trevor Lawrence is hot. I just feel like it's Buffalo's time. I just feel like this is their last opportunity. They said goodbye to Hallmark Stadium last weekend in great fashion. It feels like that year. Their defense is much improved from earlier in the season. They're a top 5 defense now. They got a great running attack. They have the NFL rushing leader. I think those things will come together. Playoff time. Trevor Lawrence is experienced in playoffs. He's been there a little bit. He's played well. So I really thought it was a toss-up. I wanted to stay away from it, but I just have a feeling that Buffalo is a team of destiny this year. And I will say this, the winner of this game is making a deep run in the playoffs.
Oh, we like that. Milt?
If this game was in Buffalo, maybe I would be picking different. But the fact it's in Jacksonville, that changes everything. Not only that, but Jacksonville is one of 3 teams that's in the top 8 in scoring offense and scoring defense. And as you had mentioned, Arash, their defense, number 1 against the run. And I know Buffalo can run the ball, but Jacksonville can stop it like no other. Trevor Lawrence is playing lights out. This team has won 8 in a row. Over the last 6 games, Trevor Lawrence, 15 touchdowns, only 1 interception. And yes, the Buffalo Bills do have the winter soldier in Josh Allen, but unless the Black Widow, the Black Panther, Thor, the Hulk, Iron Man, and even maybe Thanos, if they're not showing up, the Bills don't have a chance because the winter soldier will not be able to do this by himself. Jacksonville will come away with the victory. Trevor Lawrence will move on, and Josh Allen once again will say, I couldn't get it done. I hate to say that, but that's going to be the outcome.
I'm so glad we're separated by screens here. It looks like Flutie wants to come through the camera. I love it.
No, the fact that Milt picked this game baited me into going for it. I was staying away from this one because it was so close, so tight. But the fact that Milt picked it and it's the Bills, it's like I got to show my support. If they're going to get it done, I got to show my support to the Bills.
And I'm so sure, hold on real quick, I'm so sure that Jacksonville is going to win that if they don't, I'm jumping through a table. And I know our liability insurance won't cover it, but I think I can handle it. I'll honestly jump through a table if the Bills win. It'll be on our next show.
Done.
Yep.
Let's make sure to mark that, put some color bars down on that.
You're allowed to wear pads.
Oh, man.
Red pads, everything. That's what I'll do.
I love it. All right. So to sum up, Milt likes the Eagles for the defending champs to go to work over a battered San Francisco defense, for the Texans to cover as the road favorite in Pittsburgh, and yes, for the Jaguars to get by as the home dog against Buffalo. Flutie is taking his Bills because, of course, he is. Also riding the Patriots and Drake May to roll the Chargers, and for the Rams as a double-digit road favorite in Carolina. All right, guys, now that the regular season is done, let's think about all these playoff teams, 14 playoff teams now. Who in your mind is the most dangerous postseason built team for this entire tournament? Doug, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, you gave me the AFC, or I took the AFC, and I just said it a minute ago, the winner of this Buffalo-Jacksonville game is going to make some noise. I mean, I like the Patriots. Denver is legit, and they're kind of built for playoffs the way they play. But I really feel like the winner of this Buffalo-Jacksonville game, and Jacksonville is built for it, no doubt. There is no doubt in my mind Jacksonville's built for it. I just feel like the Bills, this is their last opportunity to make this run, and they're going to do it. That's why I picked the Bills over Jacksonville. But if the Bills win this game, or if Jacksonville comes out with it, that team makes a deep run.
Yep.
Milt, Seattle has home field throughout in the NFC. Are you riding the Seahawks?
That's what I'm riding, baby. The Seattle Seahawks.
You ride a Buffalo Bill. You fly on a Seahawk.
Woo, woo, woo.
There you go.
I'm flying, baby. That's what I'm flying. And I mentioned earlier how there were 3 teams that were top 8 in scoring offense and scoring defense. 2 of them are in the AFC, Jacksonville and New England, and the only one in the NFC, Seattle Seahawks. And they get it done on both sides of the ball, offense, defense. Sam Darnold has gotten over that ghost that hovered over him last year where he couldn't get it done. He's won 14 games in a row in 2 seasons on 2 different teams. This team is going to get it done. They're going to be in the Super Bowl. When they win the Super Bowl, I'm not going to say that, but they'll get it done because they have a well-rounded team, and Sam Darnold is playing some of the best ball we've seen out of any quarterback in the NFL. So I'm definitely with the Seattle Seahawks making it to the Super Bowl out of the NFC.
Seattle's the betting favorite, depending on what book you look at, plus 350, plus 400 to win it all. The Bills, plus 1,000. Jacksonville, 16-1. So if you're looking for some value, Doug Flutie is going to give you some. Who would have thought a year ago we'd be talking about Jacksonville this way? You know, a year ago there were coaching vacancies in Foxborough and over there in Jacksonville, and I don't care how high any of us were on Mike Vrabel or Liam Cohen. Nobody saw 14 and 13 wins coming from the Pats and the Jags. Guys, now the Black Monday's behind us. As usual, 6, maybe 7 openings by the time the week ends. It's impossible to predict who's going to be worst to first in 2026. But let's think about it this way. Of the head coaching jobs available, which would be the most coveted to you? Doug, let's start with you.
I think the number one job in the NFL is the New York Giants.
Right.
You go to New York. You're in New York. It's what it is. I used to, when I was doing the college football scoreboard, and the Yankees got knocked out of the playoff picture. They were the worst team in the American League East that year. And our producer wanted that to be the lead story for the show. New York feels like the world revolves around them. If you want to make it big time, you go to New York to win it and get after it. And they're gonna back you money wise. You got a young quarterback that's exciting, and that job right there, you can win in New York if you're the Giants. You can't win if you're the Jets. That's we've already.
The Maras are sticking with Joe Chain as GM there, Milt.
Not a bad choice. New York, the cleanest, dirtiest city in the world. So I understand that. But for me, it's my hometown, the Atlanta Falcons. And I say that for a few reasons. Number one being they have some weapons on offense. Drake London, top 10 receiver. Kyle Pitts, top 10 tight end. And the best running back outside of quarterback, the best offensive player in the game in Bijan Robinson. They also have some flexibility at quarterback. Rash's favorite player in the world, Kirk Cousins, is no longer under contract. And even with Penix there, there's not a lot of money invested in him. So the GM and head coach who are coming in, they can do whatever they want to at quarterback. They have a solid ownership. There's not a lot of hilarious stuff going on with the ownership. And the most important thing is they could win the division next year because they play in the NFC South.
Bingo! I was waiting for that.
The Atlanta Falcons were eliminated from the playoffs December the 7th, and they still tied for first in the division at 8-9. So this conference, that division is wide open. So I think the Falcons are the number one destination for any coach who's looking to win right away.
And it's interesting. It looks like Matt Ryan's going to come in as president of football operations. If there's anybody who knows about quarterback play evaluations, Matty Ice can help you out there. And Milt, you're bang on. That NFC South, it's wide open. Doug, I thought this was interesting, that when the Raiders moved on from Pete Carroll, front and center in the press release and the note, whatever you want to call it, they said Tom Brady's going to be involved in this process, and Tom's posting photos from outside Allegiant Stadium on Monday. He's rolling up the sleeves and getting his hands dirty and involved in this coaching search.
He does not like being involved in anything that is not top notch, that is not a winner, that is not a champion in any way. Tom is the most meticulous guy I've ever been around. And I'll tell you, This year had to kill him. To be a part of that organization and see the way that team played all year, it's killing him. So he's going to get involved. He'll get his hands dirty on it. And, whether it works or not, he will put every effort, endless hours, and research into everything he does. And I was marveled at his work ethic. And when it comes to anything, whether it's his TB12 brand, whether it was football, whatever, broadcasting. He's going to put his best foot forward and put everything he has into it to make them a winner.
And the Raiders have the number 1 overall pick. Fernando Mendoza, come on down. Let's see how you're going to enjoy life on the Strip with all the lights. All right. Congrats again to Doug Flutie, our regular season winner, head-to-head on the picks against the spread. We're going to continue it into the playoffs here on Flutie versus Stegall. Again, Milt likes Philly to knock off San Francisco this week, for the Texans to cover as the road favorite in Pittsburgh, and for the Jaguars to get by as the home dog against Buffalo. Flutie's taking his Bills. He's riding Drake May and the Patriots -3.5 against the Chargers, and also the Rams as a 10-point favorite. And maybe best of all, for the second time this year, Milt's willing to jump through a table if his pick is wrong with the Buffalo Bills. Enjoy the playoffs. Enjoy Wildcard weekend. We'll see you next week for Flutie versus Stegall. We thank all of you for making us one of North America's fastest growing football podcasts.